Oh wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 312 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week we've entered virtual reality yet again with the PlayStation VR2, our thoughts on the PlayStation State of Play, and a day one game on PlayStation Plus in March. All that and so much more. But with all that said, and with all that out of the way, coming through via virtual reality, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
Joe, it's wild that I can still talk to you while I'm in virtual reality
right
at this very moment.
But
it's crazy.
But how well can you really see me, though?
I can see... Okay, so...
Yeah.
With the pass-through, which is great that PlayStation VR2 has this.
Sure, we'll talk about all about it later, yeah.
We'll talk about it. So if you don't know what it is, listen later. I can see, like, the darker tones on the screen.
Yeah.
But your face, all I can see is your hair, your beard, your mustache. I see zero eyes, nose. It's like a white blank face.
Wow.
With just the hair.
You got face blindness, is what you're telling me.
I do. And, like, I have the dock over here to my left. It's just a very bright white screen. I can't see anything.
God damn. Do you think this bit paid off? Because I kind of do. I think it did.
It absolutely did. Hey, if you're only listening to audio listeners or audio listeners only, hop over to YouTube and see me wear the headset. You know, there's nothing on my end. I'm just literally just looking at the computer screens. But
honestly,
this is what the VR2 looks like.
It's like I'm podcasting in the future because this is what it kind of may end up being.
Do you remember when I wanted to make our podcast in dreams and that never happened?
Yep.
Now we're just going to do it while we're playing VR stuff.
You're right. I don't know what you're really doing in there. You can say you're looking at the notes. You can even say you're participating in the show, but who knows what's on the other end of those
PSVR2 is
lenses.
definitely not connected to the PC right now. Wink, wink. You
Oh.
can't see me winking.
No, you can't.
It's happening. It's tracking my eyes, so it knows.
That said, man, we got so much goodness over the past few days. And of course, gang, if you're listening to this now, you're like, hey, guys, you're a day late, but not a dollar short. I could assure you that. We had a bonus episode arrive a little bit earlier. So if you're listening to this and you haven't listened to last episode, make sure you go ahead do it because that's where a lot of the news is. And that's where our predictions are as well. So you could keep us honest and tell us what we got right and what we got wrong. So if you haven't already, it was a fantastic show. Go on over. Check that episode out. We also have an interview with the Moss devs there. But Kyle, we have a lot to break down now. Yeah. And I am so excited to talk PlayStation State of Play, PlayStation VR2, talk about the games we've been playing on the headset. And if I got everything right, we'll also have our interview with the Demeo devs. All that and so much more. Before we get into it, it's time for housekeeping. So, like we say each and every week, if we ever got you through a long car ride, a tough day at work, whatever your situation may be, we really do appreciate it. If you could go on over to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It's the reason why we look so good, sound so great, is because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. And let me tell you something here, Kyle. While pitching that and struggling through it, I got a little bit of that VR brain fog, you know?
Oh, yeah. After I just stepped out and I totally get it.
When you're like, whoa, I'm a little, what is life? That
I
type
can
of
see
sense.
Your face. It's crazy.
I know. It kind of, we'll talk about it a bit.
There are arms connected to my hands.
Right?
Like I'm so used to just floating hands.
There's a brain behind these eyes. But
crazy.
I find with VR, and I know we'll get into it when we talk about PSVR2, but you get that like sense of self, like you're regaining your sense of self, like after you take off the headset. It's always a strange, and after very like long time usage as well, because last night we played Demeo for literally almost 3 hours, and afterwards I was like, what is life? What is this world around me? Yeah. Why can't I just go back to this tabletop game?
Yeah.
That said though, Kyle, I want to thank our amazing patrons over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room for making this show possible. I want to thank our newest member, Matt Pillow, at the gold tier. I want to thank our premium members, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our platinum members, Brad Presnell, Brent Gillian, Jedi Master N, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, Jose Jimenez, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Millennial Falcon Gaming, Rayoko Killed 90, Sith Lord 92, Spam and Bam, and Stephen Flesh, and Strubles and Bits. I want to thank our gold members, Awesome Dave, Cypher Primus, Bertos Maximus, Baldrin, Doth, Simon the Pie Man, Daniel Welsh, Elo 2032, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hide Indoors, Nakachaka, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, K Grim, Lamb Chop 93, Marcus O'Neill, Androsor, Astronaut Jr., not to be mistaken with Astronaut Senior, Rick Arrington, Dewane Raksha, the Aztec King, Robbie Bobby Miller, Brenton Zachary, Brunty Blob, Bubble Boy N7, Captain Logan, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, M9 Prime, Stone Cold E.T. said so, Tino 6 Speed, M Kyle _ H85, and Johnson and Sean McKenzie. Thank you all so much for amazing patronage over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. And if you're a Patreon, guess what? You get to ask questions to the voice actress that plays Freya, where we interview Danielle for next week's show. We're very excited. We've finally been able to say it.
I can't wait.
Whew. We get to interview the voice actress that played Freya in God of War 2018, God of War Ragnarok. What a time to be alive.
I'm going to stumble now so it doesn't happen when we talk to her, because I have so many questions. I am so excited, and I hope y'all are enjoying these interview things.
Yep.
Don't worry, we're not doing one every single week if they're not your thing.
There's so much.
It's a lot of work.
It's so much work.
This is brought to you because Kyle doesn't have a job right now.
That's right. That's right.
That's the only reason.
And real talk, your generosity, because it's the reason why we're able to actually get them on the show and like pay for Zencaster that has us able to interview them, record them, and all that jazz. Patreon really does help this show function in more ways than you think. So please head on over there. And that's why we give you all that type of perk of just, hey, listen, you help this show your run. It's the least we can do is have your questions be read on the show. So that said, Kyle, that's a week away, but you know what happened today, Kyle?
State of Play.
It's time to square up the PlayStation State of Play, BB. Now, Kyle, here's how this is going to work, okay? We're going to play a little game called Yay or Nay.
I've heard of it.
All right, I hope so. There was, if I'm not mistaken, 16 games shown off here. We're going to look at each one. We're going to give it a yay or a nay, and an honest yay or nay. If it's no maze this time around.
Yeah, no maze. Nope.
All right, no fence sitting here on the trophy room. I'm saying a good old-fashioned yay or nay.
Okay.
Why not? Now, we're going to read through each game here, just a little brief synopsis, kind of give you guys a visual of what game, was shown off and our opinions on them. So that said, Kyle, I want to tackle this one by one. So I'll do Foglands first, and then you do the next one. Ready for it, Kyle?
Right. I'm ready.
The first game shown off at the PlayStation State of Play was The Foglands by Well Told Entertainment. The Foglands is a action-packed action roguelike shooter with roguelike shooter gameplay elements at its core. The player is tasked to explore what lurks beyond the dangerous depths of the fog in an effort to resolve a conflict that threatens their home. Each run will have players punching, throwing, shooting to get through floors of enemies and bosses to reach the end. We want you to feel what the combat is like in a Western saloon, and suddenly a bar fight just broke loose. What would you do? Out of ammo? Look around and find whatever you can. Maybe there's a bottle, something nearby that you could use to whack and smack an enemy around. Too scary? Well, then you could sneak past enemy encounters and look around for various equips and abilities to improve your odds. This was the first game shown, and it very much had that Western saloon, not to say cel-shaded, but it reminded me of games like Borderlands type of aesthetic to them, Kyle. I'm always down for a roguelike. I'm always down for a first-person shooter. The combat here looked exceptional, and this is a PlayStation VR2 game. So this is one of 5 that was shown off. I want to know what you think I'm all in. I thought what was shown here, I am day one sold. What about you?
Yeah, I'm a yay. With the caveat of me not doing a lot of first person shooters in VR.
Oh, really?
So, or really any kind of shooting in VR.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just haven't done many of them.
Hmm.
So it's a yay. I'm excited. It looks super cool. I just don't know if that kind of fast paced kind of combat I'm gonna gel with in VR.
Fair enough. I think it's interesting to have a game that's a roguelike game in VR. And you're right. I don't know how the combat could translate, though it looked really nice that we saw the snippets of.
Yeah.
I am concerned because it's a roguelike that it's not gonna help me as much as other VR games do because because you're in VR, sometimes when you're holding a gun, it kind of wobbles or shoots or veers to the left or veers to the right. So some games help you by going, no, here, you want to shoot right here. So I wonder if it's not going to hold your hand as much. And I wonder if that'll hurt the game. But from what I've saw so far, I dug it. And there's nothing like the blues on a blues track over a Western.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just like they go hand in hand. So
it was a cool trailer.
Yeah, I'm all in. Once I saw how you reload the revolver, it just the cartridge pops out, you just pop another one in and then just slam it back. It's like, all right, that looks dope. That looks dope. So this is a yay for me.
Yeah.
Yay as well?
I said yay. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Well, I didn't hear you. All right, Kyle. What about the next one?
Synapse from End Dream Studios, launching later this year. Synapse is the result of this hard work combining brutal firepower, expressive one-to-one telekinesis, and an iconic art style. On top of this, the game has been created from inception to be a PSVR2 only experience. I don't know about you, Joe, but I'm in. This is a yay. And I said it when we were doing a live react. It reminds me of like Control the game.
Yeah.
Or just the combat. And I love the like gray scale monotone colors in the environment, but the enemies are like this bright neon colors. Yeah. I think that's going to look so cool in VR.
Yeah.
And I'm so down. Some of my favorite things, which we'll get to later, of what we played in VR2 so far, are just goofing around, doing silly things like throwing things up and catching them in the air.
Yeah.
So any kind of like telekinesis that I can just pull and throw, like, sign me up.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. When you said this looks like Control, I'm like, that's the aesthetic that I was looking for, because it's more than just like force grab and force push. Like you can literally explode people with your like bare knuckles. Like you can just paralyze them. And the color palette is like so like saturated. Like the cool thing about it is you find that everything's like grayscaled until you see things that you could blow up or manipulate are colored. So like you have the explosive barrel, obviously it's red. When your gun is shooting and it's shooting a lot, you see actually the gun starting to heat up. Like it's really awesome. I dig the abilities here, and the way that they showed off this game. I'm also, right off the bat, 2 yays on this list. And maybe that's just because I'm so hyped about PlayStation VR2, but there was something here that this looked really great.
Absolutely.
And End Dreams, might I add, a great VR studio house. So, great work, gang. This looks stellar. All right. Green Hell VR, this comes from Incuvo. Become Jacob Higgins, a famous anthropologist who finds himself lost in the Amazon jungle, surrounded by various dangers, equipped only with his watch, a backpack, handy survival guide. They always come with a handy survival guide.
They're always handy.
That's what always makes it off the plane crash, right?
Yeah. Every single time.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
I mean, come on. He must endure and make it back to civilization. Take on the thrilling challenge and see how long you can last in green hell of the rainforest. Craft various tools, weapons, fight back against predators, chop down trees, heal yourself, or catch a fish in the treacherous river. Build shelter and grab a bow and get ready to survive. This is my first nay.
This is also my first nay.
I don't know. To me, something just kind of felt off about maybe the trailer wasn't to my liking, but something felt off about the combat. Like there was like a tiger that like jumps out through a bush, and I don't know. It felt to me more like a PSVR 1 game.
Okay.
And respectfully, and once you get survival elements in a game, if it's not a survival horror game, I think I'm out.
Yeah,
So,
I mean that's why I'm a nay as well, because
okay.
I'm not a survival game person.
Fair.
I just don't enjoy that kind of game for me. So that's why I'm out.
All right, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we're kind of starting to we're like Shark Tank right now. We're out. Sorry, I can't do it. I'm out.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
The toilet that flushes itself. Sorry, we're out.
No, sorry.
Sensors all off. All right, Kyle.
Journey to the Foundation from is it Archaic?
Oh, okay.
Is it?
Sure.
It's not Architect.
I can't read.
Archaic.
Nailed it.
I probably butchered that one. 80 years following the release of this epic sci-fi book series, Archaic is bringing the world of Isaac Asimov's Foundation to life in VR. The groundbreaking saga that has been incredibly influential in science fiction, having shaped much of what we see today. Adapting Asimov's work into an immersive VR narrative adventure has been an incredible journey for our team, and we can't wait for people to experience it firsthand. In this story-rich world, players are plunged into an epic journey through an area of space called the Periphery, where relationships will be strained, loyalties will be tested, and they must decide which factions will rise and fall. In this game, the future is in your hands.
My hands? Yeah, this is a really famous book series that inspired the likes of like Star Wars. So like Star Wars is inspired by the Foundation and Dune. That being said, the Foundation also, from what I understand, an excellent show on Apple TV.
Oh, okay.
But because I'm a May, like it looks good, but there's just something about it right now that I'm not completely sold. For me, I'm out. Buzzer me out. Can't do it. What about you?
I am also a nay.
Okay.
And I don't know why.
Fair.
Nothing from that trailer was like, Kyle, play me.
Yeah.
The Isaac Asimov Foundation thing is just not something that was eye-catching to me, because you said it was a very well-known book series. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So it's just not doing much for me.
Not to say you're like super famous, but it's like if you walked into a Starbucks and go, "Oh, have you seen the latest Star Wars?" You're like,
a bunch of screenwriters will look up from their MacBooks and be like, "What are you talking? What? Of course,
Star Wars. Come on, Foundation really inspired the series. You know, something like that."
Yeah.
I'm on book 3 right now. It's just very pejorative. Yeah.
You love using that word.
Yeah,
you use that in the other show too.
No idea what it means. Couldn't even tell you.
Let's see.
Kyle,
this one. Been using the word correctly.
Yeah, well, you look it up. You want me to read this next one for you?
Expressing contempt or disapproval. So yeah.
All right, yeah, there you go. Yeah, shallow and pedantic. Kyle, this one's just for you, bud. Take it away.
Yeah. Plus, I'd rather read this so you don't, crap on this type of game. Before Your Eyes, Goodbye World Games. A first-person narrative adventure which tells the story of your soul's journey into the afterlife using a new and innovative form of interaction, your real-life blinks. I played this game on PC a year and a half ago, and on there, the webcam tracked your eyes, and every time you blinked, it moves on to a completely different scene. So it's literally your life is flashing before your eyes, hence the name of the game.
Yeah.
It is incredibly moving. It's powerful. It tells an amazing story. Cried like a baby. So if that sounds like a game that you're into, a strictly narrative thing, this is a no-brainer, and I cannot wait to play this in VR. I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds crazy to the likes of Joe and probably many other people that can't wait to cry in VR.
Yeah.
But the story is so good. I want more people to play it. So this is a huge yay for me.
I'm happy that you like this. I'm happy that you're into it. I'm happy that you're going to experience it in VR. I just don't know why you want to be sad all the time. But like when you read the synopsis, I'm like, Kyle, why do you want to experience the lights going out, man? Like, no, did you know, have a laugh, have a cry. I don't know, but for me, I'm actually gonna say yay as well.
You just said have a cry,
like a good one though, like you laughed so hard, tears came out. You know,
I'm not saying every single memory in this game is a sad one.
All right, okay.
It could be happy memories,
but I'm gonna say yay because honestly, I like the concept a lot. I really do, and
it's very cool.
You know me, I'm anti-sad boy game.
Yes, I know.
Anti-sad boy. Give me good feels. Yeah. But this might be the exception because I really do dig the concept. That really is something like I've never heard before. It's like, hey, control this game by just blinking. That's awesome.
It's moving games in the way technology is implemented into games forward.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
All right. Next one, Kyle.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 Lightfall cinematic trailer. Let me tell you something, Kyle. It was provocative. It got me going. I have no idea what's going on. And I asked the community here, is Lightfall the good entry point for a big boy like me that's been out of Destiny for years now? Can I jump back in? Do I need to read like a this is Bife, summary to catch me up to speed in the story? Because everything that I saw here, it looks as the kids say, fuego. It's fire.
Yeah.
So I'm in. Like, this looked awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it looked awesome. It's a yay for me. Don't know if I'll play it.
Okay.
Not for any other reasons, just because there's so much to play.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it looks incredible. I love that cinematic a lot.
Then here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say, not that you're abstaining from the nay. It's not it might as well be a nay. I'm just gonna say it's a yay for me because I plan on buying this. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
okay.
These are games that I know I'm gonna.
My understanding of EA is like, are you excited about it?
Yeah, no. I mean, like, excited enough you're gonna throw down some cash.
Fine. Okay, then you can put a nay for me then. That's fine.
Fair enough.
That's fine. It's not from lack of excitement about it though.
Yeah. No.
Clear.
Yeah. You liked it.
Yeah.
Got you going as well. Blood flow, I don't know. I can't judge. But Kyle, here's a game that I know you're psyched
Nips
for.
can cut glass when I was watching that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Kyle, I do declare.
Tchia from Awa Seb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing is how the dev is said. It's an open world sandbox adventure inspired by our homeland of New Caledonia. It's infused with all aspects of New Caledonian culture. We recreated iconic landmarks, populated the world with the local wildlife, and even told the story using local languages with all characters voiced by local talent. Day one release with PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium. This is a yay from me.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous.
Yep.
And I love how it's based in their homeland.
Yeah.
And everything is tailored to a place in the world that not many people know about. I certainly don't. And I'm excited to learn about it through this really cool game where you are traversing through nature and transforming into animals that are local, and looks cool.
It looks like a cute little Wind Waker-esque aesthetic where it's not focused on combat from what we see. It's just focused on traversal, exploring this rich, beautiful world, transforming into things. Like you could transform into like a fish, you could transform into a bird. And what I love is you could go on top of a tippy top mountain, jump right off, and then you have a little glider that you could use to fall back down to earth. I'm going to play the crap out of that just for that feature alone. Yeah. This is a really cute game. And you know what I'm into, Kyle? I'm not into sad boy games. I'm into cute games. So I'm going to say yay on this.
Oh yeah. And it's following in the Stray footprints and day one on PS Plus.
Day one
for was Extra and Premium?
Yep.
I always confuse those because we don't talk about them much. But
no, but it looks like we're gonna start because to just break up the monotony here of the state of play breakdown, it's time to get into a little bit of flash news. Gotta run fast. Oh shit, we gotta go. PlayStation Plus games for March was announced here for the essential games for March, and they're available on March 7th. Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons. So mom and dad are talking, guys.
Oh, they're talking.
PlayStation and Xbox. Hey, you want Minecraft? Here you go. Looks like things maybe are moving. Who knows? Code Vein on PS4. I'm hyped. This is a great month for March. Great month. PlayStation Plus Extra Premium. Tchia on PS5, PS4, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection on PS5, Immortals Fenyx Rising. Why haven't you played this yet, y'all?
Oh my god, play it.
So good. PS5, PS4, Rainbow Six Extraction. Maybe hold off. PS5, PS4. And what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? And Ghostwire Tokyo on PS5.
Which I guess we'll talk about my time with it next week, just because we're running a little late.
Sure. Yeah.
I platinumed it.
Oh, yes.
It's okay. All right. But another example of like Microsoft and PlayStation talking to each other. Yeah. That is a Bethesda thing now.
And I love it when mom and dad talk. I love it.
All right. Communication makes the world go round.
Now, here's the next game on the list. Ready?
Sure. Yeah.
Humanity by Enhance. These are the same folks behind Tetris Effect, Connect, and Res Infinite. In a world where humanity is lost, without soul, without intellect, without their will of their own, the fate of all mankind rests upon the wits and determination of a lone savior, you. Oh, did I mention you're a cute little Shiba Inu, which is a cute little ghost pup. God, I can't describe this game. It's a weird puzzle game where I'm controlling the masses of humanity to move objects. The others? I think, and to solve puzzles.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is, so I can't make a call, so I'm just going to say nay.
Yeah, I'm also going to say nay, because I'm intrigued. The music is awesome. I love the studio. I just don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting Katamari vibes. Yes. Where it's a game I don't understand what I'm doing, but I'm sure I would have a great time with.
Absolutely.
I think it's also going to be in VR, I think.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have no idea, but once I find out more, I'll maybe dive into this. Yeah. So I need to learn more.
Before PS5, right?
I believe so, yeah. So this may be like a remaster of akin to the Tetris Connected and stuff.
I don't think it came out, though.
Oh, all right.
Did it? I don't know.
But you know what is coming out that's been long delayed?
And I called it.
Go for it.
I called it. Goodbye, Volcano High from Co-op. It's right around the end of the school year, so hopefully no exams will keep you away from the dino drama. It is in the same vein of a Telltale game. It's a narrative-based game. You make choices, but you're all teenage dinosaurs who are in a band. The animation is gorgeous. The art is gorgeous, and it's music-based. Because you're in a band, there's like music,
there's a little rhythm mini games,
elements and whatnot. I'm so excited they finally showed up because they had to restart development. Recently. I'm so in, and with the release date of June 15th, I think it is. That's a great summer game. So yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, though it's not for me, and maybe I'll try it out down the line. I have to give it up. The animation work is stellar.
Amazing.
So. Goodbye, Volcano High. Respectfully, it's a respectful nay because you do look good. Now, that said, Naruto X Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm by Bandai Namco. Let's go. Let's do this, Kyle. Now, I'm not going to alienate our audience by me not knowing
I love
this.
how this is the one that you got to read. I love it. It's great.
Fair. To celebrate the 20th anniversary of Naruto's anime debut and fans who supported the series enjoying themselves as their favorite ninjas, the game will contain additional new characters on top of the 124 playable characters appeared in Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Road to Boruto. Can we guys, that title. All right. That will make its largest roster out of the series. Let me tell you, if you have 124 characters you've met along the way in a show, we got some problems. We got some narrative problems.
That's more than a Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Smash Brothers. I have no idea what this game is.
They said everyone was there. I think everyone's here.
Everyone's here.
In Naruto. I don't know.
So, have fun. Have fun. That's all. I'm not going to yuck your yum because I'm dumb and ignorant.
It's not my thing. I haven't seen a second of Naruto.
Exactly.
I haven't played any of the Naruto fighting games. I know I sold a bunch when I worked at GameStop.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a no for me, but it's cool.
So this one's not the pirate one, right?
No, that's One Piece. If I my
I'll
little
just take your
knowledge
word
is
for
correct.
it. Yeah, I'll just take your word for it. All right.
'Cause
Respectful
One Piece
nay.
was the RPG that came out, right? One Piece Odyssey?
Kyle,
I think it's the pirate one.
I got no ideas.
I got waifus running through my head.
I know.
I don't know which one's which.
But you know what we're about to have?
Oh,
Cthulhu.
baby. RPG.
Cthulhu
Goodness.
babies running in our head. Go for it.
Baldur's Gate 3 from Larian Studios. The land of Faerun is under siege by a hostile and otherworldly force known as Mind Flayers. Their army expands with every brain they infect with parasitic tadpoles, a creature that now wriggles deep within your own mind. You're becoming one of them, a monster feared across many worlds. But as their corruption grows within you, so do mysterious new powers. And it's coming out October 31st, previously only on PC.
August 31st.
I said August. Did I say April?
No, I thought you said October.
Oh, no. I meant August 31st.
Okay, sorry.
August 31st. Previously, PC, early access, all that stuff. Stadia. Seems like it's only on PlayStation console-wise.
Yeah, so they confirmed as of now, probably timed exclusive, but PS5 and PC August 31st. ARPG glory. Baldur's Gate is a renowned ARPG. People love this series. This will be my first one. And a huge get for PlayStation for sure. This is a studio that I truly believe they should lock down, and a franchise they should lock down as well, because this looks awesome. This is something definitely up my alley. And in a year where we're getting Diablo 4, we are also getting Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah. Praise be. Praise be.
You'll hear in the Demeo interview that is my dream D&D VR game.
Yeah.
This is my dream D&D game.
Ooh-wee.
Because it has D&D mechanics. You roll an actual dice. It has the numbers, 20-sided die, critical successes, critical failures, character sheets, and stat. It's just... Mwah.
It's so in-depth.
So in-depth.
Yeah, go check it out. There's gameplay already there. This game has been live for a while in beta.
Yeah.
Check it out. There's a lot to it. We're doing a disservice.
It's a big time sink.
It's a huge time sink that I'll be sinking a whole lot of time into.
Yep.
Kyle, this one, Wayfinder, Airship Syndicate, great studio. Wayfinder is a character-based online action RPG that takes place in a shared world we call Enivor. Enivor is shattered by destructive and chaotic force called the Gloom, and you must harness the power of a Wayfinder to control the chaos. You'll join forces with friends and powers and embark on endless adventures you discover in Enivor, lost zones, and resources to craft new items, weapons, and Wayfinders. This kind of gave me like Monster Hunter-esque vibes. It's like, hey, come out with your merry band of friends and go out into this overworld and shoot a whole bunch of stuff. It was a little bit slow paced for me. So honestly, to make a long story short on this one, it's a nay for me.
It is also a nay for me, just not my kind of game.
Yep. All right, Kyle, take it away here.
Sure. Street Fighter 6 from Capcom. They unveiled 3 new fighters. Zangief, the Russian wrestler. Cammy, the British spy. Yep. I forgot what Cammy is. It's Street Fighter 6 along... they knew what they were doing.
They knew
exactly along with the exuberant newcomer, Lilly, who looked cool.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Respectfully. I'm not a Street Fighter guy. So as much as this is... I want to say yay, this is a nay just because I'm not a fighter guy, but by no means does this speak ill to what we saw because it looked awesome. And I love Zangief. And we saw Blanca, which is the best Street Fighter. So why do you even need to announce anymore?
Somebody in chat said that he was announced a while ago. We must have missed it.
Must have.
It's a day for me. Street Fighter and fighting games are just not my thing. The move sets though looked cool.
Talk about it.
They looked cool.
Right. Fair enough. Yeah. Cammy, respect, and we shall simp respectfully. All right, Kyle. Next one here. Resident Evil 4. New trailer. Capcom, of course. Y'all know this game. It's one of the most influential games of all time. We don't need a description. All I can tell you is, y'all, if you're a huge Resident Evil 4 fan, this trailer did for you what the Dead Space trailer did for me. I saw
Yeah.
all these places I've been to before, been terrified of. Now, new, improved game looks freaking great.
Yep.
Just absolutely great. And a demo is out soon. This is an absolute yay for me, Kyle.
Oh, huge yay for me as well. Yeah. Even though I have issues with the original 4,
Sure.
because we played it recently. It's still a little too action forward for my taste.
Fair.
But I hope I get a little bit more spooked. And obviously the enemies and the Las Plagas looks way more
intimidating,
creepier and intimidating in this remake. So yeah. I'm so in. I cannot wait. And a friend of the show, Joseph Yaden, every single day he puts out when it's like countdown to Resident Evil, like 30 days away. Yeah. 30 days too long. So like it definitely feels like it's too long. I cannot wait to play this.
Honestly, I hope he gets a chance to review this game. I hope he gets a chance to come on the show and talk to us about it.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
I know how much that man loves that game. So yeah, awesome. And now, Kyle, the game that was the premiere, the showcase.
15 minutes.
15 whole minutes. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League by Rocksteady, an even closer look into the world of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Then come to meet our team and behind-the-scenes featurettes that take us through the squad, out of Arkham Asylum, and into DC's City of Tomorrow, Metropolis. Ooh-wee. Well, guess what? We're taking you backstage, baby. So here's what we know. Kyle, this is years after Arkham Knight.
Yeah. I believe 5.
5 years. 5 years. How do you feel about that?
Love it.
Okay, cool. Because we didn't know. Remember? They
did. They said it.
They said it, but we didn't know if they meant it because it was so long since the original reveal where they said, "Yeah, this is going to be in the Arkhamverse."
I've been locked into that from the beginning.
Fair.
So yeah.
All right, Kyle. Here's where the internet is.
Yeah, I'll let you go and I'll say my thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Combat. Rocksteady wants to put a focus on what I consider, or what I call, the handshake. Combat meets traversal. So they want you to move, they want you to fight, they want the movement and fighting to be in synchronicity with each other. So, for example, Captain Boomerang, his big thing is teleporting while just ropo-doping his enemies. Harley Quinn's thing is she is just like a ballerina in the air. She's just flying through the air, shooting people, on the fly, all that type of stuff. Deathshot has a jetpack where he's able to maneuver around. We didn't see much at Deadshot. And then King Shark, who, let's put respect on King Shark, because I love that they're making King Shark a prominent thing. Yeah. God bless King Shark. We stand for King Shark, and I'll even say it, we may simp a little bit for King Shark. As grouse in the fash. Kyle, King Shark gets to jump in the air and just make like this cosmic
like cannonball.
Yeah, and I think that's actually the best analogy. So he's like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
The combat itself, for me, I'm gonna get some flack. I know I'm gonna get some flack.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was like Sunset Overdrive meets the original Crackdown. That's what it reminded me of. When I saw like the, Brainiac's minions and all that, it reminded me of the Infected of Sunset Overdrive, mixed with how Sunset Overdrive did its verticality, how it did its traversal to fight, folks. It's like, how can I not love what I saw here? Because if I can't get Sunset Overdrive 2, God bless, I guess this will have to do. So I want to know what you think of the combat, man.
Yeah, wasn't blown away by it. I'm going to be completely honest.
Go to heck.
Little bummed that all the enemies seem similar.
Okay.
And everything's purple. That is one thing that bums me out. I get it. They're all Brainiac little like underlings, so they gotta have a theme, gotta stay on brand. I get it. But when it comes to the combat, like I'm excited to try it out because I like Rocksteady, and to see. Let me get on my soapbox real quick. Please. To see people online immediately afterwards talk about how like they went from giving us 3 of the best combat action heavy Arkham game or superhero action adventure games ever to this.
Mhm.
I'm like, yo, they're extremely talented. Let them do their thing. You're not playing it. You don't know how good it feels. If it to you doesn't look like it's your thing, fine. I have no issue with you. Where I do have an issue with is you talking crap about the devs so openly. This is a huge celebration for Rocksteady. They're showing what the gameplay is.
Yeah.
And I know I can't escape it. People are like, "Oh, the game looks like garbage and trash." And like I've seen that from multiple different people.
Yeah.
And we the state of play was like 2 hours ago, and it's just nonstop berating this game. I'm just saying, if it's not for you, it's totally fine.
Yes.
Every negative thing that comes into your brain does not need to be said on social media.
I think you know what it is.
Newsflash. You know, it's
yeah. So it's not like, what I'll say is this: it's we could be like critical, but like being thoughtful, and I feel like the reaction is always like, "Hey, I got only 280 characters. Let me just make it simple here. It's bad." And I think we can like. You could look at it and go, well, it looks like Sunset Overdrive meets Crackdown. Yikes, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But like, to me, we can make those boilerplate statements, but let's back it up with something else. So for, did this thing blow my socks off? I loved it. It wasn't the most amazing thing I've ever seen, but you're right. I also know the pedigree of Rocksteady. I know what
the little story beat of Wonder Woman and Flash when I flashed around with the lasso.
Yeah.
And she's like, tell me how to stop it. And she's so
adamant.
She's adamant. And to hear Flash say,
gotta kill us.
You have to kill us. Like, that got me. And that's why I'm playing this game, because I want a Rocksteady DC Batman universe story being told to me.
I want something, I want something different from them. I think what people were expecting is, hey, this is Rocksteady. I want a Batman game. I want this beat 'em up, and it's like, no, that's not
Gorilla Kills on the Horizon. Like, it's completely different.
Exactly, and I think for me, it really is that, like, Rocksteady made you the game that you wanted with Batman, right? They made 3 of them. They're stellar. Just because this is different from Batman doesn't mean it's bad. It's awful. Again, you could be critical if it didn't do it for you. It didn't do it for you. I can't. Yeah. This is obviously a vertical slice that they wanted to show you. So obviously it was up to par for them. But if it didn't do it for you, it didn't do it for you. But I feel like we are. How can I say this? We're
quick to judgment.
Quick to judgment. And I think when it comes to like state of plays, I feel like as a whole, we're like the Bizarro PlayStation podcast, because if it's a good state of play, we normally are like, yeah, it was all right. If it was the quote unquote bad state of plays, it's like, no, we loved it. This one, I liked the combat. Rocksteady's doing something different, and it's not like it's out of their wheelhouse, because they've worked with DC in the past, obviously with Batman. They're great at melee combat for sure, but their pedigree's also in shooters. So when I take a look at what they're making here, it's like, it's them doing what they're good at with the property that they're really good at. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. This thing looked nothing like Marvel's Avengers, and not to give a slight to Marvel's Avengers, because when that game closed down, it was a competent game. Yeah. So I hate when it's just like, oh, superheroes, games of service, Marvel's Avengers. It's like, can we think a little bit deeper on this? So for me, the things that it's doing differently, and I think it's learning from, games like Marvel's Avengers, is not offering you, different classes, because it's doing that. Like Harley Quinn plays very much differently to Captain Boomerang, definitely different than Deathshot, definitely different than King Shark. Something that we wanted to make these characters feel more unique. That Marvel's Avengers, I feel like, didn't do that for me.
And Gotham Knights didn't do that.
It's also offering customization. So the really cool thing about this game is weapons all look different, they all act different, and they're sets. So you could get a quote unquote Bane set, and instead of having like just cosmetics that look Bane attire, it's also giving you Venom abilities that you get to spew on people. So, having a Harley Quinn that has Bane armor or, I don't know, Superman armor on for whatever reason, that has a unique Superman ability, and then mix it up with her, sniping 1 minute and going close up with a SMG the next is exciting to me.
The thing that somebody said in chat, and I should have wrote this down and made note of it, but it's been sticking with me since we watched it, and why I'm thinking now the comment being more excited thinking about this is It's literally Borderlands.
How's that?
Each different sets of guns. Each gun set is known for a different thing.
True.
The powers are attached to that.
You got manufacturers, and each manufacturer is going to be a little different.
I'm now more getting into it, and it's less of me being afraid of what Gotham Knights did and where they went super into it and like adding percentages of boost on everything and just felt too much. But if they keep it to like the smaller things and each gun has an ability and different cooldowns and things like that, I could be more in. So I'm hoping for now a Borderlands-esque kind of loop.
I like that analogy too, because now when you first said, I'm like, Borderlands, are you sniffing glue? No, that makes terrific sense, man. Like, the different manufacturers, how the classes are very unique from each other. I like that a lot. Now here's the other thing, Kyle. It has a battle pass,
cosmetics only.
I hate it.
Oh, sorry.
So it's the worst thing in the world. Are you telling me they're not locking content away behind expensive expansions? Like a Destiny? I'll call out Destiny. All right. You're telling me this game's doing something different while offering, things that we like more content for free?
Yeah, I'm totally telling you that. I'm totally telling you that Rocksteady has decided their history of Arkham games where every couple of months they give out free upgrade or free different costumes of Batman and suit packs. Yeah. But now they're just all grouped together into a battle pass. They've been doing this for years. It's
you're telling me no, Kyle. You're telling me that they're not pulling a Marvel's Avengers and locking superheroes behind these battle passes and instead offering pure cosmetic fun?
Yeah, just cosmetics. That's it.
And this is a choice? It's not being forced on me?
Nope.
All right, I'll believe when I see it, bud. It's always online.
Okay,
even if you're playing single player. What? It's like it needs to connect to the server to know what type of gear you're rocking. And in 2023, the year of which we live in, we're all connected, baby. I don't see the problem in this.
I guarantee you have played a game in the last 6 months that have done this. Like, just an example, Borderlands 3 was one of these things. Yeah. It had to connect before you could hop in.
That's right.
And like...
Well, Kyle, you know what game I played in the last year that didn't have this?
What?
Animal Crossing. You know what Animal Crossing didn't have? The ability to make another goddamn island. Listen, is it a bummer? Sure.
It's not a huge deal, though.
But it's not
making it out to be.
It's not the end of the world. And of course, story beats here. Story is, again, you said it earlier, so I won't repeat it. It's why we're here. It looks stellar. Good guys turned bad guys. We got to stop them. Villains are heroes. Up is down. Cats and dogs getting together. It's crazy. It's madness. And I'm really interested to see where Wonder Woman's going because she is not infected from what we know.
Nope.
She is going through some shit, though. So I'm in.
Yeah.
Now, Kyle.
It's a yay.
It's a yay for me. A huge yay. So much so, Kyle, that I'm going to just say this.
It's also weird, though.
Tell me.
Not available to pre-order anywhere yet.
Not yet. I'm going to get the collector's edition, though.
Oh, that's why I looked. Just make sure I didn't miss it.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. Here's some reactions for the show. Again, we'll take it one by one. Clear Wings XYZ writes, I thought it was a great show. I don't like Suicide Squad, but it didn't detract from a cool game shown off. RE4 remake, SF7 or 6 remake, SF6 are big highlights. Super excited for them. Awesome.
Bowser, decent show. Some new VR stuff that interests me. Glad to see Tchia.
Absolutely. I love the focus of VR here. Let's celebrate VR together with things that are coming this year. Something that we talked about on last week's show. Excellent. Stone Cold ET. Overall, I don't think many of these games were for me, but that's okay. Suicide Squad looked beautiful and frenetic, but I want to wait on reviews before making a decision. How dare you be rational, Stone Cold? How dare you? Only kidding. Thank you so much. Also, nervous that it appears that you always have to be online to play, even in single player plus, where this is a battle pass. I'm sorry, I totally read that wrong, but I got to keep going because we're running late. I kind of wish we could have gotten a purely single player Superman or Wonder Woman game instead. Don't worry, Wonder Woman's coming. Wonder Woman's coming. It's there. It was announced. Monolith, baby. And can I get a hell yeah, boys?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I would love a Superman game. I wonder who would tackle that, though.
It's tough.
But yeah, I like what I saw here.
Yeah, don't be so nervous. You can still play single player, but I get what you're saying.
I get it.
I get what you're saying. It'll be all right.
Yeah, you're gonna be okay.
Green Gorilla Gamer writes in, "Sup, boys? State of play was meh.
All right.
I do have some titles I'm excited for, and so I'll just share them. Out of all the 5 VR titles, Green Hell has me the most hyped for my love of survival games. Destiny, Lightfall, Mother F's, let's effing go."
I like how he censored himself.
Yeah, Humanity and RE4 look cool, but the big gun, Suicide Squad, kill that gosh dang Justice League day one purchase for me, and the Squad LMAO. That looks awesome. I'm super excited for the story. The characters look great, and nice to hear the battle pass is only cosmetics.
That's right.
Yeah.
So overall, Kyle, let me get this down right here, right now. I should have done this while you were talking, but we have Foglands. That's a yay from both of us. Synapse. That's a yay from both of us. Green Hell, which was a nay from both of us. Journey to the Foundation, nay. Goodbye, Before Your Eyes is a yay from both of us. Destiny 2 is a yay for me. Tchia is a yay for both of us. PlayStation Plus, I like that. Humanity, no. Goodbye, Volcano High, that's for you. Naruto x Boruto, oh my goodness, the title's too long, is a nay. Baldur's Gate 3 is a yay from us. Wayfinder, a nay. Street Fighter 6 is a nay, but respectfully. Resident Evil is a yay. And Suicide Squad, yay. 7 games shown that we're excited for, that that both of us are excited for and picking up at day one.
Yeah, and I have 8, and so like out of the 16 that were shown, half of them were for me. That's huge.
Good show.
Any showcase would love to get 50% of interest for one specific person.
Absolutely. So
that's a dream scenario there.
There you go. I liked the show. Was it the best show ever? No. I would have loved to see some PlayStation first party there, and I think that's why I at the end of the day I rate this like a 6 or a 7. It was good. It was decent.
Yeah. I agree.
Didn't blow my socks off, but we're going to wait for that showcase. That showcase better blow my socks off for sure.
Oh, yeah. If it doesn't,
I'll raise heck.
You'll hear from it here.
You'll hear from my lawyers.
You'll hear.
All right, Kyle. It's time. Are you holding on to something? I hope you are, for the love of God.
My Lego pen.
Prepare the drop. Here, we're dropping our thoughts on the PlayStation VR2. All right, so enough of the state of play that we liked, and we're probably the only ones that liked it. I feel so alone up here trying to be nice. It's time to talk about the PlayStation VR2, its functionality, the hardware, the software, what we think about it so far. This is our first impressions of this hardware. So let's break it up, okay? We're going to first talk about the headset itself, then the Sense controllers, and then the games. That's how we're going to do this bad boy. You ready, Kyle?
I'm so ready.
All right. So first things first, let's talk about the build quality of this headset. How comfortable is this thing to put on your head? How much of it is a departure from PSVR 1, or how much has it really stayed the same? Let's talk about that damn tethered cable. Go for it, Kyle.
Let's do it. I like it overall.
Okay.
It fits my head a little weird.
All right.
Just it keeps sliding on me. And I know that's probably my hair issue.
Sure.
It's not going to be the same for everyone. Like you said, it does really slide.
You're diagnosed with greasy hair syndrome.
Greasy hair syndrome, yeah. Exactly. So it is fully tightened and it still slides up, and I'm always constantly adjusting it. So it's a bummer for me, but it's not PlayStation's fault.
Mm-hmm.
But I love how small it is. I think PSVR, the front thing was overly big.
Very chunky. It was a chunky boy.
Very chunky, and I love just how compact this is. I love the shades that really block out everything.
The accordion,
it's great.
Flaps, for lack of better words. Huge upgrade from PSVR 1 there.
Huge upgrade.
I get barely any leaks. I
get none. I get none. But yeah, when it comes to the build, I think it's
solid.
Really, really high quality.
Yeah. Cable's not getting in the way. It's comically long.
It's comically long.
Steve was right.
I notice it, but like it's not.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What this thing is able to do that the Quest isn't is not comparable. And anybody that's comparing the Quest to this is just making themselves look foolish, because the Quest it's a hand-me-down at this point in terms of visual fidelity and the things that it's doing. Holy crap. So I'm not comparing these two because there is none. But from tethered VR that I've experienced to this is really damn good. So, I love how, first and foremost, when we talk about build quality, something I almost forgot is it'll actually help when it comes to the goggles, instead of having to push with your hands and try to get the right.
Oh, yeah. And be afraid to break it.
Eye length. And be afraid to break it. There's just a slider. So the goggles will match your eyes perfectly. And to make sure that you have the best sharpness, you just go into the settings, and it'll actually, during the setup, it'll actually do this. It'll line up your eyes perfectly right.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's so easy to use. One cable. I'm not complaining about it.
Nope.
That said, let's talk about the haptic features of the headset. Not as crazy as I thought.
No, just a slight little, it's like someone tossing your hair.
Yeah.
Kind of give you a little scratch, little shake.
It's cool when you turn it on and turn it off. How you'll know is it'll go and it's off.
Yeah, cute. Yeah. Or like in one of the games we played last night, Demeo, that we'll talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
Whenever your character gets downed, it buzzes.
Yeah.
Which is a nice little thing. But it's not as crazy as I thought it was, and thank God. I think they knew that.
Yeah. They're like, listen, remember when we first saw him, like, a headshot, how's that it's gonna split my head open? No, it's gonna be a kind of instant death. Lenses, these babies are 4K as fuck. Holy crap, they're nice.
Oh my god, yeah. They're awesome.
Screen door effect, you really have to look.
Really have to look. I think some text on menus and stuff, I can see it a little bit. Yeah. But when you're in it, like Horizon, it is clear as day.
Yes.
It's gone. There is no screen door whatsoever.
And to keep on the lenses as well, the eye tracking. This is why I'm so excited for Before Your Eyes. I would not play this game if it was not for PSVR. I'm going to be honest, because the eye tracking is so impressive. I'm going through the menus by just looking. Not having to toggle anything. It knows exactly where my eyes are looking. It's it blows my mind every time I use it.
During the setup process, when you're setting this up, this was my Astro's Playroom with the DualSense controller, where I'm eye tracking and now look at each dot without moving your head, and as you look at each dot, it changes color and also does like a musical note.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my god! And I just kept looking around and making different song choices. I'm like, this is so cool.
It's so good that I'm serious about this. I want to implement it on the UI itself. Because the only bummer about the eye tracking is it's only for certain games. So like Horizon takes advantage of it really well. But for like the UI, you can't do it's all through the little joystick. So I would love that change, because I would love to go through the menu and just looking at it through my eye holes.
It's awesome.
Wild. It breaks my brain. And now I understand, like, oh my god, there's one game that's coming out soon, Firewall, right? Where they're like, yeah, you could just change inventory with your eyes. And I was just, how is that going to work? Guys, it's going to work. Just trust me. It's magic.
I think that's going to work super well with like shooting in VR too. Because just look at the enemy. That's the one downside of like NFL Pro Era. That doesn't have it per se.
Yeah.
Or it's not as good. Which I'll get to later, but I wish it was better.
All right. All right. Let's talk about the mic and earbuds.
Yeah.
I'm playing with the earbuds. They sound fine. They sound actually pretty
They-
good. They're pretty good at
yeah.
blocking out noises.
They come with the headset. It supports 3D audio, and it does a really cool thing where it actually just plugs into the back.
Yep.
Like this cable right here, this is the headset, and then it has these little cushions that you can kind of just put them in when you're done.
Oop.
I love that instead of having like the bulky pulse headset on top,
Mhm.
and so that way I can just really feel fully immersed. I don't have to worry about listening to the TV or whatnot. And like last night when we were playing Demeo,
Yeah.
I was using the mic to talk to you guys on the headset. So you tell me, how did I sound?
Surprisingly really good, especially for like default like built-in mics.
Yeah.
You were very loud though. So the first thing you should do when you get the headset is actually adjust the mic to get it just right. I turned my mic almost all the way down because I was screaming, I was hooting and hollering through that mic.
Yeah.
So everything here headset wise, quality stuff.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk to you about, for what I feel, the star of the show.
Real quick.
Yes.
Are you moving into the controllers?
Yeah.
Pass through is a thing. We didn't talk about that.
Oh, I am so sorry. Yes.
Pass through is how I started the show and able to see what was going on.
Yes.
It's a little button on the bottom of the headset where you can press it and it will show you what the cameras of the headset are seeing in your room. And it's like a gray, fuzzy kind of look, but it's clear enough where you can see where everything is. So if you feel you're too close to a wall or something, you just quickly press it underneath and you can see where you are in the room. It helps a lot when I put the headset on first to find where the controllers are.
Yep.
And to kind of
orientate yourself,
reconfigure where my hands are and how to get my hands in the controller.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fantastic. It's something the Quest did.
Yes.
Like when you bop out of the boundary, it'll show you what the room is looking at.
And honestly, the only thing that the Quest probably does better, the cameras are a little bit clearer here.
Yeah.
It is a little bit too fuzzy. I feel like I'm like, oh, look I'm seeing the world like I was my dog. It's interesting. It's cool. And when you first put it on as well, for me at least, it always goes through pass through. It's like, make sure you're holding your controller, you dumb idiot. I'm like, okay, it's not feeling me. And also how you set your playroom. Like, it'll ask you, hey, are you standing up? Or are you sitting down? And if you're standing up, it's just, you highlight the room with your controller of here are the areas that I can move around in, and it'll warn you really well of if you're about to walk in or out of the boundary. So great work there, really great. They took some good notes.
Switch or change it up in the setting too, where the boundary grid lines will pop up more aggressively or less if you're feeling.
Oh, that's cool.
Super brave and don't have anything nearby that you're worried of breaking. So there's all sorts of settings.
I think it's called a disrespect your surroundings mode.
Disrespect your surroundings.
Boom, controller through a TV. All right, now we talk about, thank you for catching that. And again, pass through is simple. It is a button press. This is not difficult, reviewers. Not difficult. I'm not tangling myself via a cable. I can't stress this enough. For people like, I can't believe there's a cable. Dude, it's like 15 feet long.
Yeah.
I'm not tripping over myself. It is the reason why games are looking so amazing. So I'll take the cable. I'll take the trade-off. I don't care.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Sense controller now. All right?
Let's do it.
Sorry, calling out my peers in this industry, but Jesus. This controller is a showstopper. It's
pretty cool.
To me, how do they feel? Phenomenal. And I'm going to be real with you, Kyle. These are one of the most comfortable, I'll say it's the most comfortable VR controller I've held. I've held most of them except for the Valve Index. It really makes the Oculus controller look
childlike.
It was already uncomfortable. This thing now, man, I hope Meta is taking notes, because it just folds in your hand perfectly.
It does. It is super comfortable. I love that the wrist strap is already built in.
Yeah.
The L1 R1 button takes a little getting used to.
Sure.
Where you have to really hit it. For me, it's my middle finger.
Oh.
is how I access that button, which most games use. I have noticed that I have really bad carpal tunnel. My hands get fuzzy, numb real quick with these.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's the haptics. I have to turn that down like I did with the DualSense, probably.
Fair.
But it's a bit of a bummer, but that's a me problem. Not everyone will have it.
Sure.
The thumbstick, I think, is a little too small.
Okay.
It's weird. But then again, like, when are you using it?
I'm using it during Horizon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm not finding it, like, I'm even using it now. I don't find it in the way I actually kind of find it. It's a good size for me, at least.
Yeah. But overall, I think this is a huge step up from the Move controllers.
Oh, yeah.
Huge step up.
Now let's talk about the motion.
Let me see if I can get it in the charger the right way the first time.
Oh, don't worry. We'll talk about that goddamn charger. The motion and camera tracking. So you don't need a camera with PlayStation VR. Everything is tracked actually through the headset itself. So it has a couple little cameras that spy on these little controllers, and that's how it helps navigate. So how a lot of VR is done now. That said, a night and day difference between PSVR 1 and PSVR 2. There has never been a moment where I've lost the controller. And when it does, it's because it's a gameplay gimmick like Horizon, where you exchange things by, moving it through the back of your, moving your hand to your back and pulling out the bow. These things are accurate as all get out. Love it. What about you, Kyle? Have you lost connection with these bad boys?
Once, 2 times. One, there was a crash in Tentacular, and everything kind of dropped. Like, oh my god, what's happening? What's happening? I'm falling. What's going on? And there are a couple times where I've gotten the thing like, your room isn't bright enough. Okay. Nothing can be tracked. I'm like, that's weird because I'm sitting right underneath the light. Yeah. And for you watching the video, I don't have the lights this dim when I'm playing, so don't say that.
And
it's weird.
Good that you mentioned that. You do need lights on when you're playing it because of the camera.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't have that because my room's super well lit. Humble brag, but good to know. And your room sucks. Good hell.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Going back real quick to the headset. The room, the area where you need to play. Most games are fine with like smaller spaces.
Yes.
There's one game specifically called What's the Bat, which we'll talk about later. It needs 6 feet by 7 inches by 6 feet by 7 inches, which is a big space.
It's a big space.
Which is why my couch is way over there.
Yep.
I had to move it a great amount in order to play. So, and that's the only one that needs the room. I think they call it the room scaling boundary. As of now. So just keep that in mind if you don't have a huge area. Maybe don't plop the $20 down in that game.
Sure.
But most games you can play in smaller areas, seated, sitting. You can like paint your room like Joe was talking.
Yeah, and with that too, you don't need, for most of the games, you don't need to move everything 20 feet like some people have been suggesting. Not the case whatsoever.
No.
My room is incredibly small, and I've been able to play all VR games without any problem. Yeah. So I'm thinking my room is about like the space that I have, I shit you not, is about like 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah.
That I have to play with this thing, and I'm fine. So great that you mentioned that as well. Finger tracking. This thing's got finger tracking, y'all.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn cool. I don't know how they're doing it. This is, I think, also magic.
I don't know either. My favorite thing to do in the beginning of Horizon is just
finger
like,
guns.
Hey, how you doing? Or boo, put a thumbs down or thumbs up. Like, this is awesome.
Real talk. I almost missed the tall neck passing through because I was doing finger guns and looking. I'm like, I have hands.
Same.
God bless. The haptics and triggers on these controllers are great. I actually like the vibration, the intensity of both. It doesn't feel what I feel like sometimes the DualSense is a little bit heavy-handed. I have not had heavy-handedness experience here. So I don't have the carpal tunnel issues like I usually would do with another controller. That's why I think these are just so damn comfortable. And to mention here, too, the R1 is where your middle finger would lie. And I'm not accidentally hitting it all the time like I am with the goddamn Oculus controller. So to me, this controller, again, I can't stress it enough. It really is so damn good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have enough good things to talk about it.
Yep.
Battery, I have not run out yet. I know you've had issues though.
The girls played Job Simulator for like hour and a half after a full charge, and it already started saying, "Hey, we're low."
Yeah.
So that was, I don't know if it's just maybe it wasn't fully charged because of the stand, which we're going to talk about.
Yep.
But yeah, it's. But then when I think about it, you don't need a crazy long charge on these things, because if you're playing VR for 4 hours straight,
you're probably playing Demeo.
You're probably playing Demeo, and also like you're gonna have a headache afterwards.
Yeah.
It's the VR is not designed for marathon playthroughs like that. So
yeah. So let's talk about the last thing, which is a total optional thing, which is the stand that is $50 that is overpriced. That please don't buy it.
It looks cool.
It looks great. It looks awesome. It looks like something out of the Matrix. But this thing, thank God. I thought I was Kyle. Can I talk to you for a second? Just whisper in your ear.
Yeah.
I thought I was a fucking idiot because I was like, why can't I? There's no tactile. Oh, here's the controller.
There are.
It doesn't
like
just fall
indents.
into place.
There are indents, but even then, it has to sit just perfectly right.
Yeah. Or else it just falls over. It's really annoying.
And of course, now I'm getting it first try. Every time.
It's like now, embarrass me in front of all of our friends.
Yeah, sure, embarrass me, device. It's. I guess it serves its purpose. I love that I don't have to use a wire to charge them, because like I think that would be a huge hassle.
Yeah.
So I do think a device stand like this is quote unquote necessary. I think it will save you a lot of time and a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe wait to see if there are other third party ones on the horizon.
I know that there is one currently. You talked about that. There's like
that has the headset as on the stand as well.
Yeah. Amazing. So overall, the hardware here, and listen, first impressions, they're rosy. I really love this headset. I think it's fantastic hardware, but the hardware may be the best we've ever seen, but it needs good software, right? Mm-hmm. So Kyle, I want to just not even like impressions. There's really two games that I want to dive deep in here with you about how these games use the functionality of your VR headset. Which ones were your highlights? Which ones were your standouts? For me, I didn't play much with my VR because the games that I played in depth with.
Sure.
I couldn't get out of them. But for you got a whole list of stuff. So let's
I wanted to try a whole bunch instead of just talking about a couple things, because I see a lot of people saying like the launch lineup is lacking. There's not a lot there. And let me tell you, y'all are wrong. There's a lot of really good things.
Yep.
Some of the ones that I only played for a short amount of time, but I think are worth mentioning. Drums Rock. It is literally Guitar Hero drums.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Demon or Bats from Hell are coming down, and those are the notes on the pathway. It literally looks like the Guitar Hero drum set in front of you with the red, blue, yellow, green stuff on each of the toms, the snare, the cymbals.
What about cowbell?
No cowbell yet, but who knows?
All right, hopefully DLC.
And when the Hellbats get to a certain point, that's when you hit them. Obviously, you try to go for perfect scores. You got the height meter, just like Guitar Hero, and a score base. You get bonus points, which is so cool. If you can throw your stick up in the air,
and
catch it, and hit on beat.
Oh my
you get
God.
Bonus points for
that's
style.
Rad.
To start the song, you hit your drumsticks together 1, 2, 3, and then the song will start.
Yes.
There are covers of songs, like so. Joan Jett's "I Love Rock and Roll" was the first song I played. It is a cover, not a huge deal. They have Evanescence cover "Bring Me to Life."
Okay, so it's not like great. The quote unquote real songs.
It's not Guitar Hero real songs.
Right.
It's some covers. It's a lot. It's a lot of original music, which is totally fine. It's cool. Didn't play much of it, but I'm excited to get better at this and relive my glory days of Rock Band and Guitar Hero. It's awesome.
Nice.
What the Bat? I tried briefly just because it was a big thing with the space. It's awesome. It is what I want from VR. It's just you are a kid with bats as hands, and it just drops you in a prompt without telling you anything, and you just got to figure it out.
Oh, like it's like Octodad.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, now you're in a kitchen, and there's a little trophy that is popping up out of toasters, like different toasters have a trophy pop up, and you have to figure out, you have to hit the toast. But how are you going to hit the toast? Oh, there's a giant banana on the countertop. You hit the banana, and the banana shoots out of the peel to hit the different toasts. And like, then you go to a preschool because it's the character's life from the early days. And so, like, you're at preschool with your friend, the baby elephant, and you have to pick up these shapes that go in the shape holes with 2 bats, and you got to try to put them in the shape hole. And then you have to build a sandcastle and pick up the pail of sand and kind of carefully turn it over and plop it down in the sand and pull it back out. It's just like super fun, quick little prompts.
Yeah.
And it's just a really good time. And it is super clean and crisp. And, yeah, it's awesome. If you play What the Golf on mobile and whatnot, it's same devs.
Awesome.
So it's that kind of style. It's great. Tentacular, didn't play a whole lot, but you are not a kraken.
Okay.
You're a giant octopus. They specifically say, like in the loading screens, hey, game reviewers, it's not a kraken, y'all. Yeah. That's literally what it says.
Don't use the K word around here.
Don't say kraken. We're not a kraken.
Yeah.
And you're an octopus on your birthday.
Yes.
And your sister, who's a human, tells you that you're adopted, and your screen goes red with rage. Like, what? and you just have these tentacles of arms, and they have suction cups, so that's how you pick things up.
Sure.
This is a Devolver game joint, everybody. So like, it's published by them. You know what you're getting.
Devolver, you guys are wild.
I love it.
Love it.
You just pick things up. You go to town to the mayor. The mayor says, hey, you need a job now. So then you have to go do like a job aptitude test.
Yeah.
And that test is like literally you picking up shipping containers and throwing them in the trash pile, or taking shipping containers. It's a lot of shipping containers because you're at sea. And putting them in telephone power lines as a slingshot to like knock over things, or carefully balancing them on like towers,
sure,
and then taking selfies, but can't show your tentacle hands because they're trying to make sure that no monsters are working here.
No, absolutely.
So it's just fun, quirky stuff like that. I'm having a great time in
That's awesome. Tentacle and what the bat seem like just we know what we are. We're here to have fun. We're gonna have a good laugh together type games.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And NFL Pro Era is my dream NFL game.
Yeah.
You are the QB of your favorite team. You get to hike the ball. You catch the ball. Defense is rushing at you. Mm-hmm. You can run out of the pocket if you want. You can go under center and shotgun. You have to catch the ball from the hike, and then you look at the receiver, and once it's highlighted green, they're open, and then you literally just throw it. And you can play a full season with stats and everything. It's cool. That one's a little finicky. Okay. I haven't gotten the throwing thing down pat. Sometimes I throw it perfectly. Other times I throw it backwards or straight up in the air. So I got to figure out how to do it more, but I'm having a great time. And then obviously the next two.
Next, I want to talk about Tetris Effect.
Ooh.
Guys, let's talk about Tetris Effect.
Religious experience
here on PSVR2. It is literally the same goddamn game, but I don't know what it is. It's just overflowing with all the Tetrinos just running at you. It's fantastic. I just love Tetris Effect. More of it. Not gonna complain about it. Played a little bit of a Kayak VR. Let me tell you something about Kayak VR.
Yeah,
it's a trip. It's relaxing. And at the same exact time, you could be like, oh, I just want to tour the island. And you're just like going through, just relaxing.
I've heard a lot of people say that's the game that is like motion sick.
I have not gotten motion sick yet.
Okay, good. Okay, I have to try it out still.
Like for the races, you will break a sweat with this thing.
Awesome, that's what I want.
It is literally a kayak. It's teaching you how to do everything and all
that. I saw somebody on the VR Reddit say, hey, forget your racing wheels for GT.
Seriously.
Get yourself a kayak, and they're just sitting in a kayak with the headset on, actually doing the motions.
Cool. Then and let's talk about it, Kyle.
Yeah.
Demeo.
Oh my god.
PSVR2.
Oh my god.
We're gonna talk to the devs in just a minute.
Yeah.
Full stop by this game. It is literally D&D meets chess. Like our
tabletop.
friend. Counter Logan
RPG
said.
game, with minis and cards for abilities that you just drop on your character. They do the thing. It's so much fun.
So much fun.
It's like you said, we dropped in we were like, oh, let's play around before our interview. And then 2.5 hours go by or whatever it was.
Two and a half hours.
We were just having a good time strategizing, trying to get out alive. The best thing, and the devs talked about, is one of their favorite things is just hearing everybody's stories of how they play it through, because the levels change and enemy placement changes.
All that
and
good
like
stuff.
how we ended it, me going on a hero's journey to save us because both you and Logan died, and I decided to take on the Goblin Chieftain instead of running to the exit and getting a crit and escaping and then stopping for gold on the way. I think it was just the cap to
added
a perfect
to the tension.
Time. It was amazing.
It really is the D&D light experience for those of whom who are interested in it. This is also, and again, the dev's gonna explain it to Gustav, who was fantastic. Also non-VR mode as well, so you can play in and out of headset.
And crossplay with other headset, with Quest and everywhere.
It's fantastic. So if you like turn-based tabletop, this game's up your alley, and even if you don't, I think you're gonna have a really great time. This is a fun joint, y'all. And honestly, this is the highlight of PSVR2. Get this game. It's a fantastic port.
Spoiler alert, we're gonna do community game nights with this.
Yeah. That's how much fun we're having.
Absolutely. Full stop. I want to play this game.
There is no platinum?
Nope. Trophies were super hard, I think, when I looked. Like going through a dungeon by yourself completely. There's no way.
And Gustav's just lucky that we found out after the fact. That's all I gotta say. And last but not leastly is Call of the Mountain. This is Fire Sprite and Guerrilla Games baby right here. This is the showcase. This is supposed to be PlayStation's Half-Life Alyx. And all right. Listen, I get it. I've been sounding like a big PlayStation VR2 defender tonight. That's because I am completely in love with this tech. I'm hopefully optimistic of where this thing goes. But Call of the Mountain kind of landed all over the place. It seems like VR enthusiasts dug it where mainstream folks didn't. And for anybody that gave this game a 6, I just want to talk. I just want to have a chat. I just want to have a chat. I just want to know.
Because I don't really care about numbers all that much, but it seems low.
This game's incredible. To me, I am absolutely in love with this game. This is one of the games that I've played sitting down, standing up. No matter what, I'm comfortable. And even with a tight space like mine, I have enough room to move, navigate, and overall have a fun time. This is a terrific game. I don't even know where to start. That's how much I'm loving this game.
I loved it if it was just me on a boat going by the machines in real life and having the watchers kind of search for you while going through the log, and it was super tense. It was great seeing the tall neck literally walk over you and feeling your head rumble from the vibrations. But the thing that sold me, Joe, other than the climbing and how seamless it is,
tell me, baby bird,
when you get that bow,
I know,
and you literally have to pull it behind your back and pull it out, and then you pull an arrow from the other side. For 5 minutes straight, all I did was boom and just Legolas it the whole time. And the thing, they have like in-game targets. They call them like warning things. That is like a requirement for a trophy. So just heads up. I was just walking around and seeing them. I'm like, oh, there's one. Bam. I felt so damn cool.
So awesome. The combat is like, when we talk about it, it sounds like a little simplistic, but it really is intense. When you're just trying to dodge and weave like with multiple enemies on screen. I thought it was just one at a time, but when I got like 2 sun beaks and I'm trying to shoot them while they're just flying in the air, shooting at me, like one shooting at me, one shooting a laser beam where I got to duck, one guy's diving at me where I got to dodge. It's like I'm playing dodgeball. It is intense. It's something that you're going to break a sweat in. And even like how you dodge and how you move, I did not like the movement controls. So I switched immediately to analog stick. Where my only complaint here is when you turn, it's not fast enough. It kind of feels a little sluggish. But other than that, this game, man, it's beautiful. I can't. I just keep on stopping just to take in the vistas
Yeah.
and the climbing in this game as well. They call them like epic climbs, so you could pick an easy route where maybe it's a little bit more action packed, or you could pick a route that's going to be like more about traversal. The moment to moment traversing in this game is so much fun because it does seem like you're solving a puzzle more than the game's just kind of guiding you. And the pickaxes that you get in the game as well, like when you have the moments where you have to jump and then like hit the wall with your pickaxe.
I haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh my god, it's so much fun. This game has me hooked. Like all I want to do right now, Kyle, while you were talking, no disrespect, I'm like, when can I go back and play this game?
Yeah.
It really is fantastic. And like even switching ammo, it's like all you have to do is take out your bow, then tilt your hand like sideways, like it's a kill shot, and then you just take the arrow you want and then just place it in the bow. And you just let it rip.
It's amazing. And you gave Aloy a boop.
And I gave her a little boop on the nose. Yeah. Which most of them will try to like if you just try to touch the AI, they know. They're just like, they kind of like duck and weave. They're like, what are you doing here? You weirdo. I can't say anything more about, like, I love
awesome.
This game.
I think if you're getting VR2, get Call of the Mountain. If you're only going to get one game, get Call of the Mountain. And maybe look at a smaller game like a Tentacular or What the Bat, but this is easily a no-brainer certified banger for the PSVR 2.
Yeah. I do want to note Tetris Effect, Demeo, Kayak VR. Those are, we got codes for those. Call of the Mountain, NFL Pro Era, Tentacle, What the Bat, and Drums Rock, we did not. But honestly, the launch lineup is really damn good. Yeah. My only thing, as much as I love this hardware and I'm loving the software, and this is only, after this, I'm done talking about it. I'll give it a 9 out of 11 out of 12. Is I need to see the future more. We got 5 games that are coming out this year, and that's great. Got a little
today, yeah.
But, you know, our good friends Ains from Season Gaming said it. The same day this VR came out was also PlayStation Vita's, wish we had it too, anniversary. Yeah. And so that is still a lingering thing of, I love the support now. What's it going to look like in a year? So if you're apprehensive, if our conversation got you excited, or maybe you're like, I'll wait, I wouldn't judge you. Honestly, there's a lot here to be excited about. I think the tech is impressive, but I still need to know about the future. Yeah. What about you, Kyle? What are your last thoughts?
I think I totally get if you are holding off because of price, or it's just something you're a little hesitant about. I'm here to tell you, if you just have a small inkling of wanting to get a VR thing, this is the way to go. The tether is not a hindrance. The games are there and they're very good. And I think that fear of them not supporting it is less because this is the second one. Yeah. They could have totally just said PSVR 1 was it and done. But the fact that they went back in, gave us this insanely high quality headset, has me excited for what they're going to do with it. So I think it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. I love the tech. I love the software. This is truly impressive. I've seen some people that are very like cautious when it comes to VR, even give very, very good praise to this thing. They're like, this tech is legitimately impressive. So to me, I stand by it. This is so far the best headset that I've had, and that I've been able to put on. And I could competently say, I think the games that we're going to be getting here are going to be pushing VR forward. And it's just awesome to see this tech finally out into people's hands. That said, Kyle, agreed. Listen, one wire aside and a pass through later, it's time for our favorite segment, the Sony Pony Express. And we are joined by Gustav, one of the devs behind Demeo, to talk about their game. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, let's take it away. And with us to talk all things Demeo is our good friend Gustav. one of the developers behind the game. How are you, sir? It's launch, or as of speaking, launch day of Demeo on PlayStation VR2. How's it going?
Yes.
How's it feeling?
Yeah, it feels great. Always
Yeah.
great to launch a new game, or not a new game, but launch on a new platform in this case.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And could you tell me how this launch day, because you guys launched previously on other hardware before, how does this kind of differ to you? Does it feel like the same when you launched on Oculus, or does this feel maybe a little bit more grandiose because it's launching alongside the new and improved, PlayStation VR2?
Yeah, no, that's definitely like a new console hardware. You don't see that often, right? So
Yeah.
that's a rare treat, especially in the VR side of the industry. So that's been really exciting to work with the PSVR2.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Before we get into specific questions about Demeo, I always like to ask our dev guests a little bit about themselves personally. Like, what's your history with gaming? How'd you get into developing?
Yeah, so I've actually been doing games for 20 years now at different companies. I've been with Resolution since the beginning, so I think it's around 8 years now I've been at this company. Before that, I was at King. That's the Candy Crush
Oh,
Princess,
okay.
big developer here in Stockholm, and a few other companies before that. I started off as a programmer, actually, doing mobile games.
Oh, okay.
Back in the early days of mobile games, before app stores and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm like a computer science at university is what I studied.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how did you make the jump from mobile to VR? Because that sounds like quite a leap.
That's whiplash, I feel like.
Yeah, in a way it was, but in a way it wasn't, right? So I've been doing games for like mobile is obviously Android, and the first when we started Resolution, there was no like the DK3 or 2 or 3 was out, so that was PC based, obviously. But then the only like really mass market device was the Gear VR. So quite early we decided to focus on mobile VR, and that kind of fit us because most of the team had been working on mobile before. So working on Unity, launching on Android, all that was familiar.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's and there has to be something that is kind of familiar with the unfamiliar. You're talking about like I was on mobile before there was an app store. There has to be a familiarity of like I was on VR before it was, mass marketed.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Like our first game was launched on Gear VR as a launch title, and that was really cool to see because most of what people had seen before that was the Google Cardboard VR.
Yeah.
Right. So that was very limited, and all of a sudden you actually got something that felt like a product, right? So it's really cool.
Yeah. What makes the VR platform as a whole like exciting and fun to develop in?
I mean, I think like the one VR really does immersion well, right? It's like you're inside the game.
Yeah.
So that's obviously the really big thing with VR that sets it out as a medium.
The controllers, the features of Demeo, was there anything when you first got the new hardware that kind of spoke to you going, oh wow, this is something that we can take advantage of with this game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the hardware is amazing, right? It's so high resolution. The controllers, like with the adaptive triggers, as you pick up a piece, that's amazing, and then the haptics really brings stuff to the table. So I think it just really sells VR as immersive medium.
It's a very subtle thing, but playing last night, whenever my character got downed and feeling the rumble in my head, making it feel like, I'm down. Someone get me up, please. It's great.
And that's the only time we use that feature, actually, the headset rumble. It's only when you're downed. So
that's great. speaking of the game,
Yeah.
this is like my dream VR game.
Yeah.
And the reason, years ago, like we had a question on the show, like what would I want to see in VR? And I want to see like a full D&D tabletop experience where a game master, a DM can make the maps in VR, and you as the party could just be around the table, whatever. So when I first saw this, I was like, yes, please. What makes a tabletop thing work so well in VR?
Yeah, that's a good question. I like you have the sense of presence, right?
Yeah.
No matter where your friends are, it feels like they're in the room with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really good that you have like you're all focusing on the same thing on the table, rather than like if you're playing a shooter or whatever, like you can be in different directions. But here, like the table is the centerpiece, like the center of attention, the thing you are talking about together, right? You're strategizing like, oh, it's my turn, I'm gonna shoot this fireball and set off this gas cloud here to kill that guy, and you focus on this guy. So and I think that's one of the really strong things with Demeo overall is the co-op aspects, like playing together with friends, strategizing, really just sometimes just having fun.
But question after our what was supposed to be one round of playing last night, but turned into 2 straight hours. Who decided to make the enemies allowed to use doors? Because I don't like being in a room and being bombarded with a giant group of enemies, and then behind us we see a door open in the dark, and then we get surrounded.
It's terrifying.
Why is that fair?
That's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, Demeo may be many things, but it's not always fair, right? You can get overrun by enemies.
It's fun, but yeah.
I love what you guys actually stated. Like, I think with the launch of PSVR2, you had like a little update of like, hey, remember guys, this game is supposed to be fun. So like, I forget the message entirely, but it was like a PSA to the community going, hey, there's new people here. Help them. Remember what this game is about. And remember, it's about strategy. It's about kinship. It's about, at the end of the day, a little bit of luck. What is your connection with the community of Demeo? Do they feel like, because I feel like the trophy room, we're always on the same page about, respecting and understanding each other. Do you guys, what's the sense of the Demeo community that you guys built over, the past few years?
We have quite a strong Discord community with a lot of invested players. And also like on Facebook groups and stuff, there's a lot of discussion going on there. And I think we have a very lovely community. And I mean, obviously part of it is because it's co-op, right? So there is no like competition between players really. So there is no need to be nasty. A lot of feedback gets put together from our very engaged players, and that definitely reaches the team, and we listen.
For the gameplay itself, when you first boot it up and you're in this amazingly imagined basement, right, where the table is and where we're happening, one of our friends who we were playing with, Captain Logan, was like, instinctively he tried to walk over and pick up a dart and throw at the dartboard. Was that ever a thing that you wanted to happen, to explore the room and interact with things, or was it just like for like an ambiance kind of feel,
like a set dressing?
I mean, yeah, exactly. So the I would say first and foremost it's the ambiance, right? But there is some stuff to discover there. We put some Easter eggs in there as well. We haven't made it interactive, and that's mainly been I would say ultimately a performance thing, right? We want all the power to go down onto what happens on the board, right? So
and knowing how my ADHD brain works, I would be walking over to the dartboard and just start tossing things on that.
Or sitting at the old Apple compuper and try to play a game on there.
I'll try to play the Atari on my PSVR2. I will absolutely try.
That would be so cool if you could.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah,
When
one day.
it when it
Definitely.
comes to the the dungeon maps themselves,
Hmm?
um, how do you go about making each level different feeling enough? Like I remember the first dungeon we played when we hopped onto the second level and seeing all these different rooms in this giant middle room. We're like, okay, well, that's where all
Yeah.
the bad guys are. Like,
Yeah.
how does it go into planning of like, here's like the big bad in this side, and here's the door, and all that stuff.
So I mean, the enemies are spawned in. So every time you play is going to be a different experience. And
Oh,
then,
sweet.
so like a typical run of Demeo is two normal floors and then the boss floor, right?
Okay.
And those two normal floors, we have a pool of different floors. So every run is going to be unique. And also the enemies we that are popped in.
Okay.
It's not the same every time on each map, right? So next time you might find one giant monster, and the next time it's like hundreds of smaller ones.
Okay.
God, we learned that the hard way. We learned that
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you let the ooze stay around for too long, it becomes big ooze.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Those guys they merge. You
Yeah.
have to.
Mm-hmm.
So the secret to dealing with those is the lie. There's a bottle of lie.
Okay.
You can one shot the big slimes.
Oh.
Write that down, Kyle.
So
Write that
I'm writing it down
down.
right now.
Yeah. The thing that I love about this game is, and you know, we were talking about it when we were playing last night, was it does feel like D&D meets chess, where you have all, you know, these little, you know, characters on the table and we're just moving them about, but it all feels, you're right, everything is just honed in on just the table. So
And the
I
strategy behind it too, like
the
the little things of like the second floor we're on had staircases, and one of our characters was on the top step,
Yeah,
and then everyone else couldn't get past them because they were blocking the staircase. Like the
yeah.
little bit of strategy and forethinking of that, I think, is really awesome.
Yeah. And for me, I kind of felt like it was like Minority Report of just
Yeah.
just manipulating
The
things.
room. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know what kind of, was it just purely D&D that inspired so many of the enemies that you're fighting in this game? What, you know, what was some of the thinking behind some of those characters that, you know, you were placing down, and some of the logic behind them, or the secrets behind them, like those damn oozes?
Yeah. No, so I mean, obviously D&D, but
Yeah.
also tons of board games and role-playing games and video games
Yeah.
that between everyone in the team, like it's all poured together there, right? But I think it's in the choice between making new fantasy stuff up and just playing on the best tropes of the genre. I think we selected playing on the best tropes of the genre, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. To add to that, before coming out on PSVR2 yesterday, as of recording, um, correct me if I'm wrong, there's been 4 expansions to Demeo
yeah, exactly.
before. Okay.
Yeah.
What
So we
goes
launched
into
with one expansion, and then
Okay.
we've added.
Yeah.
Four new
What
ones.
goes into making an expansion and building on that? Is it how tough is it to add to like the worlds and adding different mechanics and whatnot? Because I haven't experienced the other expansions, so I don't know if there's.
Yeah, no. So I mean, it's a collaborative experience from a large team, right? And it starts with some sort of idea on the lore, the overarching storyline. All the 5 expansions keep together as a campaign, right? From episode or adventure 1 through 5. And I mean, it's that part of it is world building. And then you just figure out, okay, so in this world, now we have come to the desert. That was the 4th expansion we made, for instance, right? And okay,
Sweet.
what's in this desert? And then there's a lot of creative discussions, a lot of back and forth. And then we start, like the game design team starts looking into like, what's the new abilities we want here for the enemies? What new hero? With each expansion, we have also, no, not every expansion. With the last 3 expansions, we also launched a new hero class.
Oh, sweet.
So we launched the Bard, the Warlock, and now in the last one, the Barbarian.
Sweet, yeah.
So
I
they
played
get their
Warlock last
own.
night. It was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, with the Kana
Yeah.
running around. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, she's badass. No, but so
Rogue.
yeah, Rogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
What's your favorite part about those conversations when you're like, hey, we're making this new expansion or whatever have you for Demeo? What's your favorite conversation when you're in the creation process of that?
so I really like the part where anything is possible and you're just coming up with stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's a really fun part. But going from that into the first playtest, when you can actually playtest the new abilities in the first iteration, it could be just I don't know, like a quick VFX thing that happens, and then there's an explosion or whatever. That's really exciting when you start having something you can give tangible feedback on, and doing the iterations needed to make it like as exciting as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also in the case of Demeo, as we have added new abilities, those also work with the older expansions, right? So you can a lot of the enemies actually they keep showing up in the new expansions, for instance. So then you have to figure out, okay, this guy does this. How does he interact with this new enemy we just created? And also like playing the first adventure with the new heroes. That's a completely different experience than playing with the starting set of heroes.
Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite hero to play as? What's your go-to class?
I play Guardian.
Nice.
That's my favorite. Yeah, I tank it up.
I should. Like the amount of dumb risks that I take, I should have all the armor possible. Not for my teammates, just for myself, because again, I'm like, this will work out. I'm like, I'm a rogue, I'm a glass cannon. Why am I running into this mob?
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason, but I'm going in for it.
Like, I mean, it may be a bit cheesy, but like the process of making games together when you're like a tight-knit group that work well together, and just that's an amazing feeling.
What would you like to see from the future of Demeo? Is it just asking or adding more expansion? Is it looking into maybe having like the ability to like customize your own dungeon and making your own rooms or whatnot? Like, what do you see as the future of this IP?
Yeah, so I mean, there's tons of ideas, right? And right now we have nothing we can confirm in terms of that, but we're currently working on on Demeo battles, which is going to be PvP.
Nice.
So it's actually 4 players or like 2 teams playing against each other, up to 2 players per team. So you each control a hero each, and then you buy cards and from the roster of minions, and then you battle it out on arenas.
Oh,
that's going to launch as a separate game.
That's nice.
That seems like a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
That I will lose every round in, but I haven't.
Yeah. Question just popped in my head. What made or what was the decision around having like a card based like attack and ability thing, instead of just having like an inherent like menu
Here's your
of
ability
attacks
stuff,
and like
yeah.
when you pick up the mini, you can select there. Like the I love the tactile feel of picking up a card and dropping it on the character, then having it happen. So like, was the card thing an early decision?
Yeah, it was super early. Like we knew we wanted to do something with cards, with dice, with miniatures, and like physical interactions. So that was pretty much how it all started, right? So it's been there from the beginning of Demeo.
Nice.
Which is
early days.
I've just recently got into like the card-based systems in games, and for me, I feel like it's you guys, it's the indies that are really making that card-based system not just work, but have it be so much fun, because Demeo would not be the same if I can just spam fireball through a hallway. There's this like moment of okay, I can use this here, but do I really need to?
Yeah.
Right? Like the thought behind each action, again, like when Captain Logan said it, he said it best. It's like it really does feel like chess meets D&D, because there's just like so much strategy involved with every turn.
And to add to that, like when during the gameplay, when you get a new card, it's like, oh my god, thank God.
Yeah.
But never the feeling of like I can't get through with what I have, but just the excitement of getting a new thing to try out on somebody.
Yeah, no, totally. And then like you finish one floor and you go to the shop and there's like tons of stuff you can buy. That's really cool.
And even then, it's like, you know, when you're done with a round and now you could go buy new abilities, it's like, okay, what can I afford, or should I just window shop to the next round?
Yeah.
I had second thoughts on buying another ballista. Let me tell you, it missed so many times when I needed it to hit.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man, 300 gold. That's a lot to shell out.
It's a lot of wampum.
Yeah.
But you know, before we head on out of here, while playing this game, I got attached to that rogue little figurine. I have not been to the merch store yet of Demeo.com. If you guys haven't, would you consider making little figurines for these little companions?
Really cool.
Yeah.
I've seen 3D prints, but I don't know what I can share.
All right. Okay. That's a tease that I like. I'll leave it there. Yeah. Gustav, thank you so much for coming on, talking Demeo with us. We absolutely love your game. Tell everybody at the team, because this was just such a great experience. Yeah.
Can I just say, like, one thing with this release is Demeo is fully playable in 2D mode on your TV as well, right? So if you have a friend you want to play with, they haven't bought the PSVR2 yet, they can buy it for their PlayStation and just join you in a game.
I love that.
And it's full cross-play with the Oculus Quest or like Meta Quest, and
that's awesome.
And other platforms like Steam VR and Steam PC.
Oh,
you play.
That actually brings up a question. How important is it to you, for no matter the platform of VR, like let's say PSVR2 is on PlayStation, Quest is elsewhere, how important is it to you to like have your VR game on as many VR headsets as possible? Like, is that like an important mission at the team to like?
I would say so.
To
actually,
make sure
for
VR
resolution,
grows.
Yeah, for VR or like resolution as a company, I would say that's always been our wish to reach as many players as possible, and we've like from the get-go we've been trying to port on everything new that comes out. I think we've had a release title on every major VR and AR headset, like hardware launch that's ever been. So that's awesome. Part of it, and then just like being there, like it's all about attracting a larger audience, and all these headset needs content, right? So we really try to be on as many platforms as possible.
Awesome. Well, Gustav, thank you so much for coming out, talking Demeo with us. Again, we love your game. Go out there, buy this thing, please
please do.
Please. We're no joke.
I'm itching to get back. I just learned the last level is the boss floor. Like, I'm excited to get our butts kicked by this boss that we left.
We're thinking about community game nights. Like, it's gonna be a whole big thing that y'all have. So that said, Gustav, thank you so much for coming out. And now let's go back to the show.
Thank you, guys. Have fun.
Gustav, what a nice man. What a nice fellow. Thank you so much for dropping by. And thank you, Demeo team, for being so incredibly kind to us as well through our interview process. Kyle, that's it. That's the trophy room this week.
That's it.
It's been a good show. Solid.
We did it. 2 shows this week.
Hoo-wee.
2 interviews this week. Oh my goodness.
Again, we're voice actors of Freya. We're going to be interviewing. It's going to be great. Next week. Next trophy room. Keep that on lock. We're so excited. I'm so pumped. Kyle, but before we head on out of here, it's time. anything you want to spotlight before we get on out of here?
Myself, Mr. K-Step. Reminder, just be kind to each other on the internet.
Go to hell, Kyle.
Go to hell, Joe. With love, with respect.
with respect.
And just go follow 6-1
with respect.
Go follow 6-1 Indie for all your indie gaming news and whatnot. Yeah. Video games are rad.
There you go. Yeah, man. Video games are amazing. I love them so much. It's moments like these it's a reason why I love making the trophy room each and every week, when we get to celebrate new hardware, celebrate developers. That's what the show's always about, first and foremost. But with that said, you can follow us over at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. Please join our Discord. We're growing. I think we've already gotten over like 100 new people. So go on, stop on by, be part of this awesome community, be able to ask us questions each and every Wednesday right before we record. Follow me at Mr. Badbit. Follow this show on the Trophy Room Show on YouTube. Please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We are only 9 reviews away from 300. And if we hit 300 by next week, I'll do a backflip.
Whoa!
Yeah. I don't know how I'll do it. I shouldn't have said that. Next week I might die. But with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, I love you all so much. Keep your wits about you. Keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.
Bye. Love you very much.